Good evening and welcome to another edition of Talking To. I am your host, Rufus Bill, and I'm so glad that you are joining us today and taking out time out of your busy Sunday to be with us on this beautiful day. Now, you may say, it's not beautiful. Beautiful is a state of mind. So if it's not beautiful to you because it may be cloudy wherever you may be, you have to change your way of thinking. And you have to lift your consciousness level to beautiful. Listen, we're so glad you're here. And we have a great show planned for you today, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting and enlightening and maybe comical to some and maybe serious to others. But nonetheless, we're talking to, and that's what we do. We're a weekly talk show that comes on Sunday evenings at 7 o'clock p.m., Facebook Live and YouTube, and I am one of three hosts, and we will be joined by the other two very, very shortly. The time is 7:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the city of Detroit, Michigan, we have been I would say, blessed with a very good temperature today. The high was 52. Yesterday, I believe, was even higher. That's the scary weather. That crossover between that December, that March into April, it'll get you every time. But listen, once again, we're glad that you're here. Like and share, and tell your friends about us and about Talking To. And with having said all of that, we'd like to welcome Joanne Tosin Fuller. Good afternoon, Joanne. How are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
I am fine.
Great. Yes, you know what? And it is a beautiful day, even with the rain, because it's springtime. So we
It's
know that
springtime.
there's a purpose for this rain.
Always.
To start all the new stuff.
How about
Grass
that?
growing, the flowers coming up, the tulips and daffodils and all of that.
Oh, name them all for us.
I'm not complaining about the rain because
I'm
I
not
know
either.
warm weather is behind all of this. It's coming.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
The
Yes, it
colors
is.
are just gonna be beautiful.
It is. I took pride in using my umbrella today. Also, we'd like to welcome to the show Justin Hurd. Justin, good afternoon. How are you?
What's up, good people? What's up, good people? Y'all can't see me. Where y'all can't see me?
I don't know. I thought this was a part of your new setup.
Let me see.
That before we couldn't hear you.
Not right, but it's I don't. This is weird. I'm on my iPad today. I left my laptop at work. Let me turn on my desktop. Hold on.
Okay.
But yeah, you just seen me.
Yeah.
And now, let me see. Ain't nothing blocking my camera. Is it flipped? Maybe it ain't flipped.
Because now at one point it was
There you go.
on white.
There you go. It's loading. No. All right, let me go out and come back in.
Okay.
The devil is a liar.
There's a lie.
A lie.
All right, I'll be right. Right.
Too funny. Well, while Justin is getting all set up, I want to talk about something that I attended yesterday, Joanne.
Uh-huh.
So this was a tribute celebrating. It was a memorial tribute to John Behrens, and he made his transition um, in January, but the family got together yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And the minister is Pastor Herbert Behrens,
Mm.
who is the husband to Alice
Oh,
Behrens.
yes, yes.
Yes. So his brother made his transition.
Mm.
And I want I the entire atmosphere and the whole environment was something that I had never experienced. The entire church was filled. He was an artist
Okay.
to start off, was filled with all of this artwork, this beautiful artistry.
Wow.
And there was music, as and moments for people to just share memories.
Mm-hmm.
But the 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 pastor, his brother, Pastor Herbert Behrens, his message was just so serene, and just it really was just full of love. And even anyone that had a part to do, it was just full of love, and you could really feel it. And I was thinking, it was almost like he was, Pastor Behrens was reciting a poem,
Wow.
like a poem an encouraging poem.
Wow.
Yes. And one of the focus was all about the brother,
Mm-hmm.
but it was always talking about how he always wanted to take a risk and to do the things that so many people are afraid to do whenever you have a dream or whenever you have an idea, and how we just sit on things and
Mm-hmm.
don't act on it for whatever reason, because of we listening to people who detour us from that. And it was just it was very poetic. Very poetic. Yeah. I was like, man, this is really nice. This is really nice. But having said all that, saying to the family that
Wow.
that you do have our love during this time. Let's see. There was a sister that is here,
Mm-hmm.
Rosalind.
Okay.
It was Rosalind, Herbert, and then John, or Robert, John, and Herbert. But seen to the family and to those who had gathered from different parts of the state, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
just to give tribute. It was very, very nice, very, very nice.
That's nice. What kind of artists?
Uh,
Paintings or
he
sculptures?
Paintings, yes,
Okay.
paintings, just various styles, and with he
Wow.
his pencil drawings looked like portraits. Unbelievable.
Hmm.
Unbelievable. Yes. And then they even offered it to, they offered to the guest, if you wanted to have one or take one, you were more than welcome. I
Oh
said, now
my,
that's the first.
that is a first.
You
And
know,
I love original artwork.
I know,
Oh my goodness.
man, you would have
Oh,
literally
that's
just,
a first.
yes. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a different experience. I wanted to share that
Mhm.
with you and
That's,
our
and on the flip side, you heard
Mhm.
about the obituary that was shared, the person that passed in Florida?
No.
Oh my goodness.
What
Now that
happened?
that sounds like it was beautiful memories, beautiful home going service, just but this one,
What?
I have never in all my years, and I do obituaries.
That's right. You do.
I have never in all my years, and so this young man died, and I'm just gonna read part of the obituary, what it said in the obituary.
Yikes.
He is survived by three daughters, none of whom know how they will get by without dad calling to ask for $20 for cigarettes and methadone for one last time. This is for real. This is for real. They said even in the guest book, people were signing that he still owes me $20, and that the stuff that they said was said at the funeral and in this obituary was crazy, was crazy. So it's like
Joanne,
they
wait.
said, and what they were trying to say was that they were just being honest, and it says that his name was. I'm trying to be serious.
I know. I know.
Because,
Oh my God.
okay.
Okay.
But it says that his name was Arthur Nixon Bates the fourth, passed away on March 5th. In his obituary, the family said he quotes, he succumbed to a life of drugs, Marlboros, fast women, and Ford Broncos.
What?
I mean, it's like that's all you can say. And about his three daughters, who I guess he just always the only time he talked to them was when he wanted to borrow $20.
Full pack of cigarettes?
Oh my goodness! But
Who
wow,
put this together? I would love to know.
why?
Why?
Yeah.
Now that gives transparency a whole different meaning.
Oh, but really? I guess they figured we're not gonna lie because everybody who knew him knew how he was. But you could have.
No.
It could have been. It could have been.
How about
Some people are saying, well, but you come to pay your last respects. But is that? I don't know. I don't know. I just, I'm thinking about what you said about this one and how beautiful. We know nobody's perfect. But
and that was literally the flip side.
Literally, now this is the flip side.
Well, a picture with the birth year and what is that? Sunrise and sunset would have been sufficient.
Sufficient. Because now they're doing a lot of funerals. They're just doing like the cards. Those like they're a little bigger than 4x5. I'm gonna say like 5x7 cards.
Okay.
Some of them are even just doing a like 5x8 program that they fold in half. So it's not a lot of wording and a lot of stuff in the obituary.
Okay.
I guess if they don't know, I know in Canada they don't really do obituaries like we do.
Really?
They don't. Most of them are just a card that has, like you said, sunrise, sunset. It might have a little bit on the flip side, but that's about it. But then we have to realize too how obituaries really started for Black folks in the South, and it started way back when, like right after slavery and all of that, because that was the only records that they had. So that you knew who, and that's why they read them. That's where reading obituaries at a funeral started, because most people could not read.
I had no idea.
So they had someone to read the obituary at the funeral, because most of us during that time, because they didn't want us to read. They didn't want us to be able to. So most of us, we could not read. So that's where reading the obituary started. And obituaries literally was your history, your family history. So that's why you have a lot of, and people don't do it as much as like our parents and their parents, how they collected everybody's obituary.
Yes, that you would have
everybody's obituary.
A bag.
Why? That's why, because that was the history. That was your history, and that's how you kept your history.
I have a friend now, and so her mother made her transition, I guess, about 5 years ago, and I was at the house, and she says, well, what do I need, to do because of her state of mind and all of that? And I said, well, A, B, C, D, E. She said, well, let me go get the bags. And I said, the bags? She had like 3, 4 bags. When I say bags, like white grocery bags.
I believe you.
And I said, "What's in there?" Oh, these are obituaries.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, why do we need them?" Oh, I just want to, show you so you can see who the family members and this and that. And I said, "Oh,
That's
okay,
how we knew our history.
isn't that something?"
They died, so and so left, or had so and so was the fifth of 12 children, and then their
Mhm.
children was listed in the end, the remaining, so all of that, who preceded them in death, that was our family history. That's how we kept our family history going, knowing what
Isn't that
our,
something?
isn't that something?
It is.
But that's where obituaries, the kind that we're used to, that's where they are. That's
Okay.
how they started, or
Now
why they started, I should say.
don't you say you don't watch Talking To and don't get a lesson. We are bringing it over here. Listen, you're viewing Talking To Joanne Tosin Fuller, Justin Hearn, who is he must be on that dial-up computer, and yours truly, Rufus Bill. In today's promo, we were talking about some things that were going on in the news this week,
Right.
and uh, where should we start? Let's start with Paula White. Now, Paula White and Paula White Ministries, we're gonna give you some nice plugs here today. So I just think it's only fair when you're collecting some of that cash for your sale that you just send it our way, so we can get a studio built,
something,
and everything else that we need to do for Talking To. Paula, Paula, you gonna help us out?
Y'all were looking out for Paula.
Paula White says that she, starting on April 12th, ending on East Resurrection Sunday, that you have a chance to get the sevenfold blessing, or whatever it is. It's 7 phases too.
7 supernatural blessings.
You better tell it. Supernatural blessings. Now, is the angel a bonus to the supernatural blessings, or that part of it?
Evidently, it is the
Okay,
angel,
that's the bonus.
But so God gave her the task to assign me an angel. I gave her $1,000 because she's going to assign. If you send $1,000 or more, you get 7 blessings. Plus, she will assign you your own personal angel.
And whoever is an enemy of you, how did she put it? Is an enemy of God. And you can get this angel, I guess, I don't know, to take care of the person or the situation, or just to protect you. Whatever it is.
Have mercy. That's all I can say.
Now, the saying in these streets, is don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game. And that's it. I'm dumbfounded. So here are your 7 blessings.
Thank you.
She will assign an angel to you. Be an enemy to your enemies. Give you prosperity. Take sickness away. Give you long life. Cause increase for you. And a special year of blessing. Those are the 7 blessings that she will give if you send her $1,000 or more.
Well, I guess, I'll look at my wife and say, "Wife, is that a good deal? 1,000 for all those blessings?" What is the conversation in the home? And you present that to your spouse, if you have a spouse. Or even if you're, because I'm not knocking it, I'm, I'm not, or nor am I defending it, but so, sweetie, this is what we need.
Hmm.
So who do you think are making these purchases? Are these the people that are not familiar with church or what the Bible says, or the is that who's paying?
You know what? Or they have no personal. They're not studying for themselves. They have. I'm just they have no personal relationship, I guess, with God. God can't talk to them. He has to go through her so she can give them an angel. And so I'm not. I don't know. That's a good, look. That's a good question.
You know,
who?
Because I'm thinking on like this, Joanne. So that's like I'm call you up and say, "Can I have your social security number and your bank card number? Because we're checking because there's fraud. There's certain things going on in your account."
Right.
Not the same thing, but only the same thing in terms of it sounds like a scam. I mean, how you can be, how some people can be taken over.
Right. And believe anything.
Like
believe anything.
Maybe like in the early 90s or mid 90s when everybody was getting into the pyramids.
Right.
And they were selling something and you move up as you get people.
Yeah.
So it has to be a certain type of mentality.
Right.
That would entertain it.
Call them gullible. I don't know if you call them, I don't know what you call them, but we're just, I don't know.
Are these
searching for anything?
Single people or single seniors, or maybe not seniors. Maybe it's a single parent that's trying to make it, and here's this, and so if you're raising a child now and you're single, your mind is already all over the place.
Right.
So if I get this, could this help this? Just the psyche of the person.
I believe that a person can give you all of this.
Right.
How do you believe that? How do you believe that she can assign you an angel?
An angel.
And that she will be an enemy to your enemies. And so what is that going what's for me, what is that going to do?
What does that do?
If I have an enemy,
and
what you're going to do to my enemy? I don't
right.
How are you going to cause increase for my life?
My enemy is DTE.
Amen. Amen.
The DTE, I threw in a plug for you too.
DTE is good and out of control. How can she give you long life? How can you giving her $1,000? She can guarantee you long life. These are just questions that
we're just raising,
How can she take your sickness away by you giving her $1,000?
$1,000.
Right.
And you don't even know me. I mean, so I guess there is a pamphlet that comes along with this, maybe.
It doesn't say, but it doesn't say. And she says this is according to Exodus 23. So, I'm getting ready to go read Exodus 23.
Yes.
Because I can see God doing all of this.
Of course.
But I can't see a person, depending on a person, to do all of this.
How?
But people have weird beliefs, especially when people are searching. A lot of people are out here really searching for something.
Yes,
really,
they are.
these days, and times that we're living in today,
Yep.
This puzzle is to create words
they
using
are really searching for something to believe in, something to grab hold of, something to, they're looking for something tangible. A lot of people say, oh, you can't see God, you can't, but they're looking, and that's how you get a lot of these cults, and you get a lot of these.
That's what I was just going to bring up.
They're promising things, or they feel like they're loving them, to. It's just, how do you fall into those traps? To me, they're traps. How do you fall so easily to those traps if you're not searching and yearning? And maybe yearning is a good word, because you really
yearning,
have to yearn for something to really just believe what anybody tells you.
Anybody tells you?
Yeah.
Anybody tells you? I don't know. It's strange to me. I'm gonna have to watch Saturday Night Live, see if they did a skit on it. Because now, do you remember when she was calling out those angels from Africa?
Oh my goodness.
Now, are these the angels she's sending over?
I don't want those angels then.
No.
I don't want one of those.
Because it looked like those
are
troubles.
Those are imps of you know who. Because he was calling them out for
him.
Yes.
But I don't, it's narcissistic, I would think. Behavior.
Very.
Very. Did you find the verse?
Oh, it's a whole chapter.
They want the whole chapter.
It's a whole chapter. Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting. Well, okay, we're just gonna glide along.
Because on the other hand,
if you don't want to buy an angel, that's all right. That's $1,000. Now, if you were in Texas a couple of weeks ago, Bishop Marvin Sapp only asked for 20. Now, I want us to say this first, Joanne. And I heard someone describe the Seventh-day Adventist Church as a conservative church. And I would agree. And the person who said it is a Seventh-day Adventist. And so the methods that were used to get money for the church was strictly just come and pay your tithe and offerings. Now, I know after playing in churches, I've seen this activity where they'll say, shut the door, we're about to lift an offering, or we have a $100 line, or we have a $50 line, $75. So I'm very familiar with it. Now, have you been to any service that kind of carried on like this? Or?
I have. I've sung in churches that kind of, I haven't seen it in years though. But yeah, I used to sing at a Sunday church that did that. And they would, so many people, can you give 100 stand, or can you give 50 stand, can you give 20 stand? But it's been a long time since I've seen that. I've even been in churches where they post every member and what they gave. So you could walk in the church and look on the board and see what so-and-so gave so much this year and all that kind of stuff. So for the building fund or for whatever. But it's been a long time since I've seen that. And but yeah. So for him to ask for $20 each and wanted to raise $40,000, that was quite a congregation, I believe. And I'm figuring it up. So they had to have over 2,000 people in that service. And I think I lost my partners.
I'm right here.
Oh,
So I was thinking, so I wasn't too shocked by it,
uh-huh.
but why do you think so many people, I should say not surprised by it, but why do you think it was so, it made such news, social media wise?
Because like I said, I have not seen that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think churches moved away. I think, and maybe like I said, I haven't been in a whole lot of churches
Okay.
lately, as far as going to sing or being on the program or something. But I thought churches have kind of gotten away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I know they do have special days of special. I mean, because we have special days, special offerings where we're asking people for, a special, maybe special, what I want to say, church expense offering, which is like
Yeah.
a fund offering or something like that. But this just seemed, especially when he said to lock the doors. I think that's what threw people off, because now
Okay.
you almost now I can't leave if I want to, and I understand that. And in most churches, especially when it's time to take off the offering, you do have people that kind of, because you don't want people running off the street, robbing.
Exactly.
People
Coming
robbing,
in, going out.
right, and stuff. So you do have people. There's not a lot of walking and all of that during the offering time.
Mm-hmm.
They ask people to stay seated. But maybe it was just the way he did it.
The tone of his voice.
The lock the doors, don't let nobody leave. When I listened to it, it was like, wow. It seemed extreme, but I don't know. But I don't know. I only saw bits and pieces, so I don't know the whole circumstance either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the whole service was about. And why was this church? Because this is not his church, right?
Well,
his church.
That's what I was wondering, because I didn't think it was his church. And in fact, with all of the talking that has been said, I've not really heard anyone say that it was his church.
Okay, so no, it was actually, he was at the 109th Pentecostal Assemblies for the World Convention in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. Now.
Oh, it was a convention.
It was a convention. So now we have some more light on it. So, yeah. Because of that, so that will give a direction to why he said it costs to be here.
Right.
Now, one thing we don't know, was that his job? He could have possibly been hired to live, to bring in some money. And we give you a little cut.
And so really, he was asking, because it's saying so part of his speech was, there's 1,000 of you here tonight. There's 1,000 of you online. This is a small seed, because he was only asking each person to give $20.
$20.
And then he asked the preacher standing beside him, each of them, to give $100.
Yes. Now, you want to hear something funny about that? I have a friend who is a minister, and he went to a church service. He's here in the city of Detroit. And he said that when the pastor who was running the part of that portion of the service, he told the ministers, he said, now listen, you all give $100 because you all are required more. And they said, now if you can't give up that $100, then you don't need to be sitting up here. Well, my friend got offended. And he said, well, he was out of order for saying that we need to give $100 because, we're ministers and we're sitting up here. Wow. I said, well, pay to play. Do you have $100? Well, I wasn't going to give it to church. I said, well, get on out there in the congregation.
Oh my. Okay.
We're because my friend is the type, he want to be seen. He want to put on his nice suits and
They
put
want to
that
be
Bible
paid.
under his armpit or in his hand and walk, stand proud and all. Yeah.
Wow.
I said, so now it's time to pay up.
But you gotta pay the cost
You got to
sometimes.
pay the cost.
But you know what? And you made a good statement, because I'm reading here that fundraising was part of his job at the international convention, calling it stewardship rather than manipulation. That was part of his job. Just what you said. That was his responsibility for the convention.
See, there you go.
So yeah.
So all of these pertinent points were overlooked on the on the internet and by those who were viewing and making all those comments. Now, I tell you, it was quite entertaining to see some of the memes and some of the comics imitating. And in fact, one fooled me because somebody had taken a CNN and like the usher he was talking to was being interviewed by the CNN anchor, and they had put that thing together so smoothly, and they had the lady, she said something, but the fuller picture was on the usher. Now this lady talking about, I've been at this door for 50 years. And I was trying to tell the lady with the baby, you can't come in now. And I had the door open. And so I just read some of the comments, and people, that's a shame talking to her like that. Got me all caught up in that. And it wasn't even at this church, at the convention center. You see?
People.
Yeah, you have to know.
I would call 911 talking about this man holding me hostage until I give him $40,000. I'm like, oh my goodness. People took this and ran with it. They ran with it. Yes, they did.
But you pay $20 at McDonald's.
For real.
And hopefully,
and don't go to Burger King.
Don't go there for the plain grilled burgers. And hopefully the food is good that day. But it was just interesting, just to see everybody just so riled up.
Yeah. And like you said, a lot of it, I'm sure, was taken out of context. But he was the one who was actually the offering person.
How about that?
The convention, which we didn't know it was. I didn't know at first that this was a convention.
Neither did I.
That was his job for the convention, was to take up the offering.
And they said, get to work and get this cash.
By any means necessary.
And get it fast. This is how much we short.
And people don't realize that it takes money to run anything. Even when it comes to church, it takes money. You come to a building and, people don't think about, and I'm just going to be real, toilet paper, paper towel, water, heat, gas. You want the air on in the summertime. You want the heat on in the wintertime. There's maintenance that takes place. And so people don't understand, and I shouldn't even say they don't understand. They don't, they don't get it.
They don't get it.
What it takes.
You have a tissue. You got to have some tissue.
You got to have tissue. You got to have fans. You got to have, you want to come into a nice building. You want to come into a clean building. You have janitors. You have, musicians. You have these. So these people don't work for free. And they shouldn't work for free.
No.
And so and there was a statistics that they did that only usually between 20 and 25% of any church, 20 to 25% of the members are what carry the church.
That's right.
What carry the church. And that's sad.
That is
so sad. That is so sad when you think about it. So that's why you have to get up and, for lack of a better term, you got to get up and beg. Get up and ask.
Right.
Please remember, what if I told you next week, bring your own toilet paper and your own paper towel?
Now.
What if I told you we gonna worship in the dark next week?
Next week, we're conserving.
Bring your candles. Can you everybody bring a candle?
Thank you.
Or a flashlight or something, because but people don't think about those.
No, they don't.
They don't think about those types.
No, they don't. And they should.
Yeah.
And if you're part of an organization that you really are, you say that this is where I go, this is my church, you should want to give.
Yes.
Freely.
And giving is about worship also, though.
Yes, it is.
People
Another
don't realize
form.
that giving is another form of worship. It's and that's God requires that of us, the gift, and it's only 10%, usually a tithe and offering. That's what he requires. And that's the only way in the Bible where he says, prove me. If you do what I asked you to do as far as giving, and I call it the churches today, I call them the modern day temples, because if you read in the Bible how he required them to take care of the temples.
That's right.
Them. And so your church building is your modern day temple. And so if you just do what he asks, he says, prove me. Do what I asked you to do. Guess what? And I'm going to take care of you.
Just that simple.
Just that simple. But we don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know one thing. The convention center said, we don't care what y'all talking about.
You're going to pay our bill.
We got it handled over here. Now, I don't know what you do over there, but we got it over here. Do you think, and this is off subject, cell phones are a distraction during service?
They can be, because I look at even my cell phone sometimes. And even though sometimes I'm reading the scriptures but then you got everything that pops up. And then when it pops up, you want to hit it and it's like, no, I'm not.
Not right now.
I'm supposed to be focused. So,
a sale at Macy's win.
Yeah. For real. Those things. I'm telling you, shoe sale, an extra 50% off, 9 less. Okay. Move. No. So that's why I try to take my Bible with me and try to, because I do. I know I get distracted. So if I get distracted, I know other people get distracted. I'm not gonna lie. I get distracted. Somebody sends you a text and you go into the text and it's like, oh.
Who is that? Oh, I ain't even heard from them in a minute. What they saying?
Or they texting you. Everybody, look, the person texting you is in church too.
What you doing?
Are you kidding me? What?
But even even with people that that are recording maybe the sermon or the choir.
Yeah.
And I wonder sometimes, is that because you're doing that, are you missing whatever the message
of the song or the message of the sermon?
Of the sermon.
Is he recording it? Are you missing your message for that day?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good question, though. That would be a good study.
That would be a good study.
Yeah.
So now we're going to slide on over to our last topic. When your boss doesn't value you. Now, if your boss does not value you, this could mean something when it comes to raises. It could mean something that could come to your, what are those reports? When they do one-on-ones and year-end evaluation.
Evaluation, performance.
Performance, yes.
Yes.
What do you do? Because, and if I don't know if any of you have seen the animation with Veronica, but Veronica deals with a lot of a lot of her boss always wants her to do something extra or something more or go beyond what she normally does, or but doesn't really value her. And Veronica's always speaking up for herself in a very big way. And if you've never seen Veronica, just YouTube it, Veronica animation. It should come up. But so if you, what do you do? What would you do?
That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. Because I am a firm believer in speaking up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you have to know that you have to know the situation. You got to know your boss. You have to, or manager, whomever is over you. You have to know when, where, and how to do it. I believe in speaking up. I believe if it's time for a raise, I have no issue with asking. I think it's time for a raise, or I think it's time for. I don't have any issues with all of that. Some things I think and it depends on your work environment, because some things I think are teamwork.
Right.
Sometimes the boss, especially if they're coming after you all the time or asking you to do things, it might not be that they don't value you. It might mean that they know you are the one that's going to get the job
They
done.
get the job done in
They
some
don't have to
cases.
chase after to make sure, did you, and so that's when okay, I'm a good worker, then where's my raise, my yearly raise? I'm serious. I'm like, but I don't know if that's, and we can. It's easy to say, well, go quit the job and go find something else, but you can go somewhere else and it'll be worse than this one.
Worse than this.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think if you are a leader of an organization and you're dealing with people, first of all, I think you need to take a class in how to engage with your employees or whoever you might govern,
Mm-hmm.
and learn how you should conduct your behavior.
Yeah.
How you should talk to somebody, how you can set the boundaries and set the levels of whatever you need to set, but you need to be knowledgeable about it. And just because you've been in a position for years, and it does not mean that you're running efficiently,
right,
and effectively,
right.
So
Sometimes
that's
you got the position because long term,
mm-hmm.
You've been on the job.
Or you might be the one that started the whole thing.
Right. But it doesn't mean that you are managerial
material.
And
when you're not, you need to hire someone that is.
Yes.
Now, that's first, because I have seen in a lot of cases where, just like this, you're the boss, and you're basing everything, every decision, every increase, decrease, pat on the head, that a boy, on how you feel, not what's getting accomplished, not the improvements, or not the roaring up the team to be team players.
Yes.
And it's a certain art to that.
It is.
So if even whatever you may be feeling, because you could be upset because you had a bad night, or something could have transpired on the job, and now you're just mad at everybody, and ain't nobody worth nothing around here.
But when you're a boss, you can't wear your feelings on your sleeve. You can't, and you can't take what happens. You can't take it out, and you have to learn how to, like you said, bring people together, even when things are going horrible that day. Okay, we know you can't. You have to learn. You have to learn people skills. managerial skills, personality skills,
Personality skills.
all of that. You have to know all of that.
And sometimes what I think, Joanne, in a lot of cases, especially if you're dealing with a professional person, and you might not be as a leader, you may not have dealt with a professional person. So
Mhm.
you're confusing that professionalism with pushover, weakness,
Mm.
mild mannered. All of these adjectives that are not really describing that person, because the only thing that you see is what the professional is presenting.
Mhm.
And so it's very important that if your employee is giving you professionalism, then you need to try to at least don't go below that, match it, or go higher.
Well,
Now, if the employee is late all the time, pulling a scam,
right.
taking 30 minutes on a 15-minute break, taking an hour on a 30-minute lunch, junkie work area, okay, I could see there being some type of something going on there where you can say, look, I'm not valuing your work
Mhm.
or your work ethic or
Mhm.
your work morals. But if that's not the case, you should act accordingly. And maybe it may not be maybe you can't give a raise.
Mhm.
The person has been given, maybe the employee is asking for something. Well, I can't do that, but I can do this.
Right. Right.
Now, I can't give you that amount of money, but I sure can give you a vacation day.
Mhm.
Or if I can't give you what? Your own office, I can get you a brand new chair for your cubicle. You
Mhm.
know,
Something
something,
that
something
shows that you value that person.
that you value that person.
Because nowadays, even look, you have employees employers who are looking for good employees.
Yeah.
Nowadays, what's sad is a lot of people I'm not gonna say they don't want to work, but they don't have the work ethic.
No, they don't.
They don't. They want to come in when they want to come in. And when you're trying to be professional, when you're trying to just have everything up to par, up to standard, up to, a lot of times the employees take that wrong. Um, like you trying to be all that, and no, I just need to run. I just need this to run like it's supposed
As
to.
opposed to.
And so it does kind of go both ways.
Mhm.
That if you're a good employee, yeah, you should be recognized, and you should feel like you're valued. But now that we have this, um, the companies don't value their employees like they used to.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They call it at will employees now. Every
Mhm.
all these companies now have what they call at will.
Yes.
So now the mindset of the employee is, hey, whatever.
You at will too.
Whatever, because now they can fire you whenever they want to without any, um, pre-notice and
Mhm.
all this kind of, what is that saying to the employees when they know that they're just at will employees and they don't really have to have a reason to let you go,
Mhm.
a good reason, I should say.
Right, a good reason.
So it to me it kind of goes both ways.
It does.
But it does help when your employer shows you that they value
They value you.
because I think your work ethic is better when
It
you
is.
feel valued, when you feel listened to, when you feel, and I'm not saying I got to treat you like a kid, right? Everything you do, I got
Right.
to pat you on the back, but let me know sometime that you're
Mhm.
doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Leave
you
all that other
for
extra
showing
stuff.
up to work every day. You know?
How about that?
Thank you.
You
Being
know,
on time. Thank you.
when I used to work at a DTE, and the managers would be so happy when they would see the employees show up. They would be ecstatic.
I hear that now. I hear that now. And it's like, wow. And now that people, since COVID, and a lot of these companies are requiring the employees to come back to the building now. Some not every day, but they're requiring them to come back. And it's like, ooh, hallelujah. Thank you. You showed up today. Thank you. So many people. And I hear it that, oh, I just didn't feel like coming in, or I overslept, or it's like, what?
What?
Really? Like, oh, come on.
I think those days of that type of ethic are over.
Really? You think so?
I think so. Because we want to be a star. We want to get likes, and I'm not knocking that at all. If you can do it, do it.
Hey.
So our focus is changed. Why am I going every day to the man, and I need to take a couple days to work on stuff for me? And then when that payday come around, now you're mad because you're 2 days short.
Thank you. And you can't be mad. Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle.
But you really think that those days are over. You know what? And it seems like, though, a lot of people, and just in the past few months, it seems companies that I've been going into and just talking to, the courteousness. It's like, are these people forcing these people to? But it's nice, though. But it's nice. It's nice when the grocery store, hello, how are you? Can I help you with anything? I mean, I said, okay, they must be having some really tough meetings for these employees, because it's like the switch has been flipped.
Right.
And I appreciate it, though. And so I give it back to them. Well, thank you. And I hope you're having a good day too. And all of that kind of stuff. It's nice to going into a lot of these businesses now. And the people seem to, even on the phone, they seem to be more courteous and more attentive, and trying to really help you. All of that. So hopefully things change. I hope it's not over.
Well, here's the flip side of that for me. I was at the restaurant, and the lady, I was in drive-through rather, and she was saying something, and I said, oh, okay, thank you. And so she said, thank you. Why you say that?
Oh.
I said, for your outstanding customer service. Thank you. And I appreciate it. And I'm thinking in my head, ding dong, you better have my order right.
But and it's something, because I love to throw people off, because I'll make some phone calls and they'll answer the phone for whatever company. And I'm like, good morning, how are you today? And it's like dead silence. And I'm waiting on them. And it's like you could tell they're not, some of them
not accustomed. No.
Good morning, how are you today? And some of them like, oh. And I remember a couple this one lady, she was like, so how can I help you?
She didn't even know how to respond.
I said, so how are you today? oh, I'm fine. I'm good. But I mean, it was like, it just, so how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
Just say hello. Just say good morning. Just, yeah. Oh, life.
Before we go, Joanne, what is the deal with Walmart and all of the thievery that's going on over there?
Really?
From shoplifters.
Really?
First of all,
wow.
who shoplifting. That's a crime of 19 something.
Now I've seen videos where people have, and now I'm wondering if that's Walmart, where people have tried to with baskets full of stuff and try to walk out the store.
Out the store.
And fighting and ready to.
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Ma'am, sir, stop stealing out of Walmart.
Wow.
They're seeing you. You're right on the cameras. I saw the news story, and the girl, she had the scan thing. She's picking up items, and she has like 3 in her hand.
Uh-huh.
And she scanned one.
And throw all 3 in there.
And then she moved the wand on the next one. And then this, I said,
but
now,
you know what?
mind you, there is a camera obviously right above the
Right.
scanner.
They can see
Now,
everything.
even if you didn't know that, Joanne,
And they know, and that stuff knows what stuff weighs and
all that.
all of that. So it knows if you take 1 shower gel and put 2 in there, it knows all of that.
Yes.
It does. But you know what? And I'm gonna say it. I
What?
wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. But that's what they get for all these self-checkout stuff. You need to give me a discount anyway. If I'm bagging, if I'm checking my own stuff out, I'm bagging my own stuff. So they need to go back to hiring these people.
Hiring these people.
Hiring these and let them run the cash registers and stuff. And then you won't have to even worry about
You
all
won't
that.
have to worry
All
about it.
these jobs away from folks.
You know what? I said before we go with that, let me say before we go today, I attended the pastor's anniversary of our devoted listener, Pam Burton Johnson.
Yes, Miss Pam.
And that was last Sunday at her church. What did she say? Employment turnaround is crazy. Customer service is at all-time low. Yes, Lord. But I attended the service last week, and this is why we didn't broadcast. And where they honored her.
Oh,
And
I had known I would have come over there with you.
you know what? And I should have told
I would have come
that
over
to you.
there.
'Cause yes, that would have been lovely.
Honor Miss Pam.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she had one of her guest minister was Pastor Welton Smith, and also Apostle Felicia Browning, and they brought their choir and the musician, and it was a nice crowd, and it was a joyous occasion. Her pastor was there, Pastor James Minnick of Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church, and she had all of her members were there in support, friends, new, old. It was just her children were there.
Wow.
Her grandson was there. Grandchildren were there, and it was just a very nice occasion. And she was beautiful and dazzling and
Always
sparkling
beautiful.
as ever, giving out kisses and waves. And also one of the special guests was her cousin. And I don't have the program in front of me, but she is the daughter of the woman, Lachelle, who was on the Oprah's singing challenge. Remember that? She was from Detroit. Lachelle, I'm thinking her last name was Griffin. Anyway, her daughter sang on the program, and she just had a voice of an angel.
Wow.
And it was just a wonderful event, and I was so glad to be able to be in attendance. She had the air personality, Jay Sanford. He stopped by to pay homage. So just once again, congratulations. It was her 5th anniversary. and she's doing a great job, and she knows what to do. And when it comes to leadership, she has it.
Awesome.
And she exercises it. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Well, Joanne, a great show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want you to have a great week.
You have a wonderful spring break is over, right?
Oh, Joanne Tolson Fuller. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm sorry.
No, for real. I thank you for reminding me because thank you. Now, see, flesh and blood did not reveal that. There's no lesson plans done. I didn't do any lesson plans for this week. I didn't even. Thank you. So, wait, I'm gonna put that on my to-do list between now and then.
Like between, you got 12 hours.
Right. You're busy. I don't even know where that computer is. I put that bag somewhere.
Mercy.
And I'm just going to just lift my consciousness right now, knowing that when I get up in the morning, I won't call in because those first day back with those kids, I don't know if I want to even have that in my spirit.
They're gonna be off the chain.
They're gonna be off the chain.
You know they're gonna be tired because they had no time or nothing.
No, and you know the parents
gotta get up. Now you gotta go to bed and get up.
And get up. Woo. And them parents are so relieved to have somewhere to take them. So they're gonna be there extra early, lined up.
Get out.
We just gonna slow the car down. I think I talked myself out of it. Going, that is. Wait, my students have a test coming up Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And so I told them, I said, well, this test is worth 50 points. I said, now you all have played around the whole little quarter. Don't know what a quarter note is. Don't know how many counts it gets. Don't know how to draw one. I said, but when you get that F on your report card, tell your mama.
No, Mr. Bill. I don't want to F it.
Tell your mama. At the parent-teacher conference, the parent said, why does my son have an F in your class? I said, I'm so glad you asked. I had the papers. I just happened to have the papers for that particular student at the table where I was. I had my grade book. I said, well, let's see here. He was absent on this grade date and over here and over here. She said, oh. I said, and then the work that he did turn in, 1 out of 12, and all he had to do was read the story. And he's a great reader. She said, oh. She says, and he was with her. And she said, so you're just messing around in class? You had me to believe it was him. And I looked at him. I said, see? I said, see? I told you.
Mr. Bill's fault.
Not my fault. As Nat Morris of The Scene used to say, what is it? Oh, I don't think I can say that. Sugar and Sugar from The Scene. You ever seen The Scene? It was a dance show in the city of Detroit.
Yes.
With Nat Morris.
Rufus, you're aging us.
Oh, no. What I heard. That's all you had to say.
The rumor was that there was this show.
You see, I'll shut up when it comes to that.
See, it's gonna be like, what's that? What? What? But the
that's too funny.
don't they?
How about that? Joanne, have a great week.
You have a wonderful week yourself.
And everyone, thank you so much for listening and viewing and being a part, Pam and Alan and all of those who will view later. We greatly appreciate you and thank you for listening to Talking To. And you have a great week and be nice. Yeah. You show some great customer service this week to those individuals that you may come into contact with. And When you do it, remember you heard to do it here on Talking To with Joanne Tosin Fuller, Justin Hearn, and Rufus Beale. Have a great one.
Have a great one.